Hi, welcome to part 3 of SuccessWorks' series, How to Job Search. Today we're going to address the question that often comes up: how many jobs do I need to apply to? Well, the short answer is as many as it takes. It's impossible to give a specific number to any student and to answer this question because it really depends on the factors involved in your job search. It depends on what kind of position you're applying to. Some job markets are more competitive than others and require many more interviews and kind of attempts at getting attention than others. It also depends a little bit on luck, honestly. Making sure that you get your resume to the right person at the right time at the right circumstances. However, the good news is that as much as the job market and a little bit of luck are kind of out of your control, you can make your own luck and take a lot more control over the job search process than you might think at first glance. Making your own luck in a job search involves being persistent, continuing to apply for as many jobs as it takes, making sure your resume is high quality, and maybe even networking with people in the industry to help support your application process. So while I can't give you a specific answer as to how many jobs you need to apply to, if you are doing the work to find the job, you are much more likely to get a job in the end. I'll give you a bit of a recruiter's take. In one of my previous jobs, I worked as a staffing recruiter. Basically, what that means is I job searched for multiple people. Candidates would apply to my jobs. I would interview them and decide if they were good for the positions we had to fill, and then I would move them to the hiring manager. What it meant is that I was involved in every part of the recruiting process. I mention this because this is effectively job searching for multiple people at once, and it gives you a good idea of how many jobs one might need to apply for. As a recruiter, for every 10 candidates I interviewed, 5 of those I would likely send to the hiring manager. They were good enough to send up to meet qualifications. Of those 5 candidates, maybe 3 would get to actually interview with the hiring manager. They would like their qualifications and ask for an interview. And of those 3, maybe 1 of them would get a job offer, which was the goal. This is, again, not exactly applicable to a student situation because you are only applying for jobs for yourself, but this does give you a good illustration of what job searching volume looks like. So what does this mean for you? Of course, more applications means more interviews, means more offers, means ultimately more choices for you to decide between at the end of the day. That does mean, though, that you have to apply for a lot of jobs, and it means that job searching really is a marathon. It's going to be a lot of jobs applied for over a long period of time, so you must pace yourself and not burn yourself out, and make sure that you are still keeping yourself mentally ready to apply for jobs when they come up. I like to recommend something that I call the bullseye method of prioritizing your job application process. At the center here is our ideal job, maybe that perfect job that we really want to take. And every circle beyond that is a little bit further from that ideal, but still applicable. The orange circle is maybe your ideal job, but in a different industry than you really want to work in. Maybe the yellow circle might be your ideal industry, but you might be looking at a backup job in that position. And then, of course, the green circle is every job, basically. You're kind of getting further away from that ideal into compromised positions. And the reason that is beneficial for you as a student is all of the jobs in this circle are valuable to you. When you take your first job out of college, the closer you can get to your ideal, the better, but any job you take is going to give you really great experience. So what you can do is prioritize your jobs based on how they fall in this circle. The jobs that fall closer to the center, you might spend a lot of time applying for. Write a cover letter from scratch. Really make sure that your resume looks perfect. Networking with someone in the company to get them to notice you. You can't do that for every job, though. You just don't have the time to dedicate all of that effort for 50 job applications. So as you get further away from those ideal jobs in the center, you might find that you're spending less time on the position, maybe updating an older cover letter or not necessarily, verifying that your resume looks good, but not going in and editing it perfectly. not necessarily spending as much time on networking, but you're still applying for the jobs. Again, it's a matter of prioritizing your efforts. For the jobs that you really want, it's worth the time to really spend extra effort on it. For those jobs that are maybe backup options, they might still give you attention even if you don't put the same amount of time and focus in. So as long as you're getting your application out, it's enough. One thing you can do that I recommend for students, and you can actually find this on our website, is to make a template to categorize your job search activity. As I said, this will be available for download on the website. You should see the link nearby. You can also make something like this yourself. And the goal is just to track how many jobs and when you applied for and when. If you can set small goals for yourself using a tracker like this, maybe I want to apply for 5 jobs per week. Well, you can set yourself goals by keeping track of what you have done and haven't. We can maybe spend the rest of the week filling in these other jobs and making sure that we are getting applications out. Before long, we'll find that this entire sheet might be full, and we only spent maybe 20 minutes a week actually doing this job search activity. That's the ideal, is that you fill this list with jobs that the status on them turns to interviews for as many as you can, and that offers come from there.